All right, it is already week 3 and it is a Tuesday, so we are going to be previewing my top 5 games of this week. All right, my number 1 game of this week is Georgia at Tennessee, and this is a huge marquee matchup already in a season that looks to be wide open in the SEC. It's really up for the grabs, and my biggest questions for Georgia is what does the offense look like going up against a competent SEC defense? It's a unit that won Tennessee a lot of games last year and is looking to play some very complimentary football this year. Is Georgia's ground game really back? Are we going to be able to see that against a stout Tennessee defensive line? And then another question I have for Georgia's defense is how are they going to fare against Joey Aguilar and Star Thomas? Star Thomas averages already about 7 yards per carry this season. So Georgia's going to really have to show that their stout defense is real. The only teams they've played this season are Marshall and Austin PA. So they're really going to have to step up as they enter into conference play here. My questions for Tennessee is, are they able to set up the ground game successfully against Georgia like they were able to against Syracuse and Eastern Tennessee State? Obviously they dogged on Eastern Tennessee State like they're supposed to, like a good team does. But, Georgia is a huge step up from that, and they don't really have any ramp up. They just got to be ready to go. My number 2 game for this week is Clemson going to Georgia Tech, and this is a game that I think Georgia Tech is probably going to win by 2 scores. I haven't been impressed by anything I've seen from Clemson. The offense has struggled. The defense even has struggled at times. And my biggest question is Clemson able to play complementary football? And is Cade Klubnik and the offense able to produce at a level for them to stay in this game? And are they able to stop Jamal Haynes defensively? He's had a great year so far. There's just a lot of questions around this Clemson team. And honestly, I think people have taken their preseason notions, put it on Clemson, and have not been able to see Clemson for what they are. They've looked at Clemson for what they think they should be, and I just really don't think this Clemson team is that good. My questions for Georgia Tech is, how does Haynes King work back in, because he did miss last week? And then really just, are you able to prove that you are one of the dominant teams in the ACC and pretty handily beat Clemson? Because if that's the case, you're looking at Miami, Florida State, and Georgia Tech for a race to see who can be in the ACC championship. My number 3 game of this week is Texas A&M going to Notre Dame. I think this is actually going to be a great game. It's in Notre Dame. It's at 7:30 primetime kick. My biggest question for Notre Dame is, can you establish the run truly with your offensive line unit? And can you get C.J.